Hi, everybody. My name is Vince, and I'm also here with...
This is a special guest, Kyle.
Special guest Kyle. Hey,
Hello.
buddy. This is a show. It's a companion to my other Fallout podcast called Atomic Radio Hour. This is called The Vault Boys. This is a watch-along podcast for the Fallout on Prime Amazon series. If you like Fallout, if you're a Fallout fan, if you're getting introduced to the series through the Amazon show and you'd like to know more about the world, my name is Vince. I have a YouTube channel that you're watching currently. It's somewhere down here called Old Man Vince. That's me, where I do a weekly Fallout podcast. There's some lore videos if you'd like to know more about the world of Fallout, you'd like to know what's going on. There's a Discord in the description right now that you can join, talk to some Fallout fans, ask some questions. All we ask is that you don't spoil the series for anybody else. It's new, it's fun. I have succumbed to some of the spoilers, which Kyle and I are probably going to talk about. Not what the spoilers are, but that it has happened shortly. But this is the Ghoulman community. This is the Atomic Radio Hour community, the Old Man Vince community, and I'm very, very excited for you to be here. I'm honored that you would check us out. So stick around. If you'd like I said, check out my channel. There's a bunch of other stuff. At the end of the video, there's probably going to be a link to a lore video list, a playlist that you can check out. But like I said, my name is Vince. I almost said my name is Kyle. My name is Vince. I'm here with my friend Kyle, and we are going to break down how we feel about the first 4 episodes of Fallout on Amazon Prime. We're going to start with this 4, and probably tomorrow, whenever this goes up, probably the next day, will be the last 4, the back 4 of the series. So, Kyle?
Yes.
Before we even get started, are you recording?
I am recording.
Cool, just got to double check. When they announced the show, how did you feel about it?
Pretty good. I knew that the director was or producer. They were involved with Westworld, and that had heavy Fallout ties, I heard. So I was okay, knowing okay, they have some idea of what is going on, with the whole synth stuff, So I was okay about it.
When I first heard about the show, I thought it was unnecessary. I'll be completely honest. I thought it was unnecessary because I thought it was very much going to be a show about Fallout 1 and 2. That's what I thought they were going to tackle, because so many people haven't played the first 2. People haven't played 3 in New Vegas either, but that's besides the point. People haven't played the first 2, and I thought this was going to be their way to introduce all this lore and introduce all of that. And I thought, I don't know if you know this, Kyle, but originally when Fallout was owned by Interplay, around the time of Fallout 2, there was supposed to be a Fallout movie.
I didn't know that.
And yeah, it doesn't hold up. A lot of the stuff doesn't make sense. They change it because it's a movie, and it was also the mid to late 90s, so it was during that period where they just changed things because they thought it would work better in a movie, where I feel like...
You saying that, I saw a tweet somebody saying this is what the Fallout show should look like, and it's the music video for Linkin Park. It's
Which one?
It's when they're up on the tower and it's all green screen. And so he goes, this is what Fallout should look like. This show should look like. And that just reminds me of if they did the movie. And that's kind of the aesthetic I can see.
I mean, this whole show is very much green screen. You can tell it's green screen, and I don't really even care.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, what has been your favorite aspect of the show so far?
The music.
The licensed music or the...
Both.
Okay.
Because the music.
There is So Kyle, I don't know if you know this story or not, but we had a friend who unfortunately has passed away, and one of my earliest memories with him was going to his house for a bonfire, and I didn't know that anybody else knew Fallout, and I loved it, and we sat around singing "Let's Go Sunnin'." And do you remember the Butcher Pete dance we used to do?
Oh, vaguely.
It was You would hold on. You would, the audio might get a little chopped, but you would put your hand like a knife into your other hand, and you would sway back and forth. But in episode 4, it opens up with "Let's Go Sunnin'," and I was like, "You're kidding me!" I was like, "You're kidding me! You've already won me over." I think my favorite thing that I've seen so far is vault culture.
Ooh, yeah.
Because it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of this we get a spin-off show that's just about a vault. Because it's so interesting. And like, Kyle, I don't know if you've seen the most recent episode, as of this recording, the most recent episode of Atomic Radio Hour, which is my Fallout podcast. Check it out if you get a chance. I am a big fan. 300 episodes deep, baby. I talk in that episode about how the vaults feel real and how I've been to DC and I feel like I've been to DC physically and metaphysically, I don't think is the proper term, but like in a metaverse, like in a different way. Like I've been there because of Fallout 3, and how the vaults in the show, the Vault 33 feels real. It doesn't feel like it's fantasy. And I think that's the biggest strength that the show has going for it, is that it doesn't feel fantasy. Right. It feels believable. I feel like this is what could genuinely happen in the world that you and I both inhabit. Out of the three, I just want to talk about basic stuff before we get into it, because I very much enjoy so much of the show. There's some things that I think are a little slow, that I feel like drag a little bit, but I also think it's my own biases for the property. Also, I'd like to say before I finish that thought, I'm a huge skeptic. And I didn't think that I was going to be intrigued by a Brotherhood story, and that turns out to be the complete opposite. I'm super into the idea of a Brotherhood story. I really like how they play her as just naive. I like how they play her as... I really like her. Maximus is fine, but I also really like, and this is something that I have a friend at work who we were talking about this, the way the show is portraying it is the option of if you're a good or bad guy. And I really like Lucy's the good guy. Maximus might be a bad guy. Walton Goggins is very much a neutral character, very much just going out for his own thing. And then also Lucy is the first time you play through a Fallout game. Maximus is like the third or fourth time you play through a Fallout game. And the Ghoul is like, you're a seasoned vet of the game. Like, he already has legendary gear. Like, there's little things like that. You had said to me when the D&D movie had come out that you can see the rolls happening in real time. When we're in a shop, and like in the movie, it seemed like someone rolled and they failed, they passed, they critically failed, they critically passed. That's how this show feels. There's even the intro scene where Lucy's talking to the council. It feels like she's setting up her special. Like she's hitting her tag skills. Like this, it does such a fun... Kyle, when they're doing that, she says something and they play the karma noise. They played the gosh damn karma noise for good karma. And I was I welled up a little bit because I felt like I was playing Fallout 3 again, because it's what I associate that noise with the most. And I was like, oh my God, that doesn't need to be there. Like the little things about the show, the way that for you to understand that they're in an irradiated area because Lucy has a Pip-Boy on, you hear the Geiger counter going off. Like it's little smart things that I just think work for the show. But okay, I know you have a list of Easter eggs ready to rock. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I want to talk about this show in a more spoiler capability.
Yes.
I think from this point forward, we should talk about the spoilers of the show. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. If you don't care about spoilers, I bet Twitter has been really fun for you the past few days. Before we get into the spoiler, I would like to give a quick shout out to our sponsor of this episode, the Ghoulman Entertainment Patreon. So go ahead and take it away, sponsor person. What are you doing here? You shouldn't. This is my medicine cabinet. It's where I put things like clippers and teeth paste. What do you... Look, while you're here, and I got you for a second, real quick, I really need to thank the Patreon. On screen now are some of the names of the people who are supporting the show, and I have to thank them real quick. They don't just support this program. They don't just support any of my other stuff. They support the entire channel. This is the Ghoulman Entertainment Patreon people that I have to thank, starting at the top with the OG Noah. Thank you, Noah. After Noah, I have to thank Marcus. Thank you, Marcus. After Marcus, I have to thank Mellow Milhouse. Thank you to Mellow Milhouse. After Mellow Milhouse, I have to thank Captain Lennox. Thank you to Captain Lennox. And last but not least, I have to thank DanishHoundDog. Because of these fine folks that are here, I can continue to make new stuff. I can continue to try new stuff, especially like a side project like this one. So because of these few names, I'd like to say thank you. I love you. This show is amazing. Enjoy the rest of this episode. I guess I'm just gonna go. Why are you here? Why are you in my medicine? Whatever. It's fine. Kyle, wasn't that a great sponsorship?
That was.
That was great, wasn't it?
It was super great.
Great, thank you. Kyle, the show's very good.
It is.
Episode 1. Let's just talk about episode 1. We'll go to 2, 3, and 4. Episode 1. I love the idea of 3 connected vaults trying to trade off, essentially just trading sperm with one another. I really like the little things of like the wedding dresses all have the ladies' names written in it and the years they got married.
Yep.
Well, the only thing what's that?
Do we want to start like at the beginning?
Yeah.
Of episode 1?
Oh wait, what do you mean like at the beginning?
Like pre-war.
Yeah, sure. Okay, pre-war. Let's talk about pre-war. One of my few gripes with the show. The bombs are supposed to... One of my few gripes, yeah. The bombs are supposed to drop at 9:47 a.m. on the East Coast. That means it's 6:47 on the West Coast. There is no way those little kids are eating cake and ice cream and soda pop that early in the day. So they retconned what the time the bombs dropped is. That's one of my few gripes with the show. Genuinely, like, that's it. My one friend at work, he was like, that's not how nukes work. And I was like, Doug, it's a show. It's fiction. Like, I don't watch Lord of the Rings and be like, that little man can't do those things. They put on a ring and a tower can't see them. Like, it's fantasy. Like, why are we getting upset about it? Like, there's little... One of my few gripes is it just seemed like something that was so unnecessary to change. It lets you know more about who Cooper Howard is, and I enjoy that. We also
know the president is missing.
But we've already known that.
I know, because some people... I don't remember.
Okay,
I haven't played Fallout 1, so it's...
It's funny you say this because... I meant to say this in the first part, the spoiler-free part. My mom is watching it, right? Mm-hmm. And she's loving it. She thought it was great. And I went, do you have any questions? And she's like, no. She's like, I didn't play the game, but I think it's doing it well enough for me to understand. And I said to her, I was like, I feel like I'm speaking a different language when I hear it because I understand all the little things.
Yeah.
Like when they're like, oh, Enclave. I don't have to go, oh, what's the Enclave? I go, oh, okay, the fascists, the neo-Nazis.
I just wrote down like shit that they mentioned. I'm like, oh, you know. So the president missing. They mentioned Anchorage on the TV.
Yes. Don't they mention Pennsylvania in that as well?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
The moment when the bombs drop, when the music just like goes away, I was so tense.
Really?
I was like, ooh, this is getting me. This is like...
Yeah. Speaking of that, just because we're talking about pre-war stuff, one of my favorite things about Fallout is how it seems like the civil rights movement of the 60s happened, and then everyone was like, maybe we're treating people poorly. Because white people, black people, like gay people, all that shit just exists in Fallout. The beginning of Fallout 4 is a bunch of interracial couples.
Yeah.
Straight couples, gay couples, just there because it's... And I appreciate that they're showing that through the show. And again, the most diverse group of people I've ever seen in a show, especially, and I think it fits. Mm-hmm. Like, not just because they're wasters, just because they're just people that live in a wasteland, a destroyed area, but like the people in the vault really look like they hit randomize on the character creation screen a couple dozen times for each person. But Kyle. Sorry, I know we're jumping around a lot. Yeah. The fucking kid from Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Hannah Montana. Dude, I saw that and I was like, is that Hannah Montana's brother's friend?
Yeah. Yep. I have that right in my notes.
Sorry. So go back to the pre-war stuff. Sorry,
pre-war stuff. Yeah. So the bombs drop. We get the whole like explaining the whole dumb thing.
Yeah.
And then the music drops when he's running away, and it does that note that I'm like, that's Fallout. That's Fallout ambient. That like it does that one
that
note.
Fallout 4 like one piano note.
I don't think
Enon
it's even
Zur?
4. It reminded me of like 3 or something. Like it
Really?
just like it's one note that like I was like, ooh, that's like
That's Fallout. That's
Yeah.
unequivocally Fallout. Does it open like that? I don't even honestly remember.
I don't think it opens like that. It just says the end.
Yeah.
It starts with saying the end.
I like that it starts with the end. But then going into the vault stuff. Mm-hmm. We were just eating good. Like, I have no other way to put it. Like, those vaults feel real.
Yeah.
I love the little council. I love the Pip-Boys. I thought I was going to be more upset about because they're just silver.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate them. I think they're fine. They're just 3000s. They're just regular 3000s from Fallout 3 in New Vegas. But silver, that's fine. I really like their like common area, their projector room. I really like the idea of that. I like how it's supposed to be modeled after the Nebraska cornfields. Really, really a big fan of that.
Their vault connected to another vault, which I thought was interesting.
It's
I mean,
3.
we didn't learn until later that it's all 3.
But if you listen to Hank, Lucy's dad, he tells her on his wedding day that he left 31. So
And he doesn't regret it or something like that.
yeah. Which when we get to the talks about episode 4, I have a theory about what's going to happen. Let's talk about what essentially is this vault's experiment.
Right.
Please, if you don't mind.
Yes.
They understood my friend at work even said, he texted me and he said, like I this isn't a spoiler. This is also the spoiler section, so it doesn't matter. We're talking about how I think the Legion is going to show up at some point and how it's going to be like the Legion after the Battle of Hoover Dam. So it's going to be Remnant Legion and it's going to be run by Vulpus. It's this whole thing. And I text him, I go, hey, just watch the first episode. It opens with them beheading Leget Lanius. And he was like, serves him right. And then he watched the first 30 minutes and goes, where the fuck is Lanius? And he was telling me, he's like, I wasn't going to watch it. He's like, I was going to wait. Like, I wasn't going to watch it right away. I was going to go, whatever, I'll catch it later. And then because you said that it started that way, and then I get a text like 30 minutes later that goes, cousin fucking right in the open. Because almost 300 years later, no, I'm sorry, 220 something years later, we're in the 23rd, almost in the 23rd century, population would start to dwindle. What are you going to do about it? So I like that they showed that. I like that became a part of it.
We should also mention that this is after Fallout 4 timeline.
Yes.
Timeline-wise.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And I believe this episode we get to see the Pridwin.
Yes.
So, and they even said, we'll cut back to the vault stuff, but they even say in the episode, like, oh, hey, this order comes directly from the Commonwealth. So,
and I was like,
but I like how they left it ambiguous enough where it's, I don't know if Maxon is alive. I don't know if
highest cleric, they said. Yeah, they said it's from the highest cleric. It comes from the highest cleric? This order comes from. Yep. Highest clerics, I think. I should also, if we're recording this too, they did say this show is canonical.
Yes, that was confirmed like super early on. Mm-hmm. Which we'll talk about, especially with some of the spoilers that I've seen before we get into the next one. So, the highest cleric, they said?
Like clerics or cleric.
Okay, so I'm looking at the Fallout wiki right now, right?
Right.
Fallout.fandom.com for Atomic Radio, where I get all of my lore, the Nukapedia, if you will. This just says under ranking systems, it's scribe, and then under scribe is squire, initiate, knight, senior knight, and then all of it funnel into paladin, elder, high elder. Then the Lost Hills method is initiate, senior initiate. That funnels into either apprentice scribe or apprentice knight. Down the route of apprentice knight, there's journeyman scribe, senior scribe, and head scribe, and a head scribe can become an elder. An apprentice knight can become a journeyman knight or a paladin. If you go down the knight route, it's senior knight and head knight. Paladins can become senior paladins and head paladins, and all of these funnel into elder and then high elder. The Atlas model in Appalachia is hopeful, initiate, and then you either become a scribe, a knight, or a knight errant, and then from there you become a paladin. Under the guide of lions, Elder Owen lions, it goes squire, initiate, and then you could either become a scribe and go senior scribe, proctor, head scribe, or go knight, knight sergeant, knight captain, paladin, star paladin, sentinel, and then elder. Under Maxon's model, you ready for this one? Holy shit, is it long.
Boy.
You can become a squire. Then you become one of 3 routes. You go squire, initiate, scribe, senior scribe, proctor, and then head scribe. If you go down the route of initiate, it goes initiate, aspirant, which Maximus is, knight, knight sergeant, knight captain, knight commander, paladin, paladin commander, star paladin, sentinel. And then if you go the way of lancer, it's lancer initiate, lancer, lancer knight, lancer sergeant, lancer captain of the Pridwin. It says in parentheses Pridwin, and then all of that funnels into elder. And then that's all there is. There's nothing about the show. And what they say, the highest...
We got it from the highest clerics. Which could in general mean, like, the highest.
That's what I was thinking. It could genuinely just mean, like, cleric could just be... Like, what a cleric in D&D is, like, a religious person.
Yeah.
And the clerics... Or, excuse me, the Brotherhood in this is being played as a cult. Like, it's being played as loosely religious, and I really, really enjoy that because that was the original intent of the Brotherhood in the first Fallout game. Back to the vault, Kyle.
Yes. So we get... they're about to... they meet with Vault 32. And
did you instantly know something was up?
Yeah, well, we seen the lady from the trailer. She was running out.
I didn't recognize her. I didn't recognize her, and then I didn't recognize her at first, and then when they started showing everybody with tattoos and like scars, I went, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, when they're eating, I was like, "Okay, something's up."
Yeah,
but I knew her from the trailer where she was walking out of like some building.
The observatory.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have that, and then there's a romance scene.
Okay. I'm talking about that romance scene real quick.
Yes.
Lucy's pregnant.
Okay.
Lucy's pregnant. There's so much foreshadowing, and I'm gonna spoil a little bit of episode 2 before I get done with this. One of the last thing Lucy sees before she leaves the vault is it says, "Don't lose your head," and then by the end of episode 2, she's cutting off a guy's head. That's foreshadowing at its finest. Lucy gets married, and her pregnant friend looks at her and goes, Stephanie goes, "I'm just so happy our kids get to grow up together."
Right.
Lucy's pregnant. And because of the events of Fallout 4, I have a feeling the kid's going to come out ghoulified.
Ooh.
But we'll talk about that when we get to episode 4. We will have a young vault dweller, born on the outside. Because I'm only on episode 4, as I know you are. This show, I have a feeling, is going to follow the way every Fallout game is set up.
I mean,
here's objective A.
Following. We have to find our father.
Dude. Son, when I was at work and my friend and I had seen some of the spoilers, we were getting like a little disheartened with what we thought might be happening in the show. And I was like getting loud at work without realizing. I was like, why the fuck is it always parental findings? I was like, why can't Fallout 1, my water chip is broken. Well, Fallout 2.
It is also Fallout 1. Because their water chip is broken.
Yeah, and that water chip that they show off is an exact model from the first game, and I was very happy to see that. But Fallout 1, the water chip is gone. Fallout 2, I have to save my village. Fallout 3, where's my dad? Fallout 4, I'm the mailman, and I must find the man who shot me. Fallout 4, where is my kid? But also he's my dad because he's a father because his name is Father, so it's not really you know what I mean. 76 is. I haven't played it in a long time, so I couldn't tell you.
Well, find the Overseer. Originally, it was Find the Overseer, yeah.
And then it's find the older overseer and then do something else. But every game has a 2-point, like a 2-plot structure in the sense of it's go find the water chip, go fucking figure out the mutants. Go find your dad, go fix the water. Go find Benny, go fix the Mojave, right? So I'm assuming by episode 5, we're going to see it's either going to be episode 5 or it's going to be the last episode of this season. She's going to get her dad back. And then we're going to kick off this second plot structure, like in that sense.
Right.
Like, you know how the first season of The Last of Us was just the first game?
Yeah.
And the next 2 seasons are going to be the second game? That's how I kind of feel like season 1 and 2 of Fallout is going to be. If we don't get it that way. But, she has sex with the guy.
Yeah.
Monty.
And then we find what happened in Vault 32.
But hold on, can we talk about her having sex with that guy quick?
Yeah.
I'm not a prude, Kyle. Like, I'm very sex positive. Go do what you want. Prostitution should be legal. Who meets somebody and has sex with them immediately like that? And, like, I get the argument of this is what she was, like, born to do. She has working reproductive organs. Like, she just like, there was even a point when I realized that they were not raiders, but they were going to kill them. And she walks that guy into her apartment, her unit. And I went, damn, this is really all she ever wanted. Like, this is really special to her. But go on, sorry.
Vault 32 and finds, like, their fields are destroyed. In the baby center, there's a dead body with, like, a leg missing. And then murder starts happening. And people are just getting brutally killed. Like, the one guy, he's like, get the Jello mode out of here. And then the other guy gets a freaking gun in his head. He turns, and the guy shoots him through his head to kill the other 2.
Oh, how cool was that?
That was cool.
He was like, eat this gun, and then shot a bunch of dudes.
Yeah.
I loved how it was brutally violent. Like, just brutally violent, because I don't think a lot of people really... I feel like I'm desensitized to it. I feel like I could watch somebody get shot in front of me and then, like, go to work the next day.
Because Fallout is, like, brutally...
Yeah, but Kyle, episode 2 opens with someone throwing a puppy in an incinerator.
Yeah.
And, dude, Kyle, you've known me forever.
Yeah.
When have I ever been like, that might be a bit much? When have I ever said that?
You haven't.
No, I never have. When I saw a puppy get thrown in the Infernus, I went, ooh. I even thought, this might be going a tad far.
Yeah, I think I thought that too. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, and I like told somebody at work, and they're like, thank you for telling me. I'll have to shield my eyes before I watch that episode. And part of me wanted to go like, did you not know that the Holocaust happened? like there's worse shit, and also this is fiction.
The
jet scene was super dope.
Yeah. She has a syringer? No. What is that gun she has?
I think it's a syringer. I would say it's a syringer.
Like a pistol syringer?
Yeah, you get a syringer. The way I remember getting a syringer in Fallout 4 is, I want to say through a vault quest. I'm so bad with the names of the vaults in Fallout 4. What's the vault with Curie?
Oh, I don't remember.
81. In 81, if you do the quest the right way, if I remember correctly, you get a syringer. So I'm just assuming that vaults have them because they're like non-lethal. But dude, when she's in the armory looking at everything, I went, oh my God, this is 1-to-1.
Yeah. And then
like this
she
is
comes out
1-to-1.
in the wedding dress like that. I'm like, that's Fallout. That's somebody's character right there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, This is a very good show. How do you feel about Maximus? Let's leave the vault. I wasn't too impressed by the vault opening. That's my favorite part of any Fallout game. It's better than New Vegas's. What's that?
We're jumping a little bit ahead because they take her dad.
Sorry. Oh, I forgot about her dad. They take her dad. Yes.
They take Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan.
That's his name. Twin Peaks.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. They take her dad, and then she says something about, oh, you look like your mother. So there's already an outside connection going on with him and her mother. They know her, and she already knows her. So, like, how does he know her? You know, they also really know more about outside.
Oh, that's my other nitpick. Thank you for bringing that up. When Lucy gets done having sex with the guy, and then she looks over at him when he's, like, fascinated by running water, she turns around, and he, like, throws her on the table or something, and she goes, Raiders. And I was like, how do you know what Raiders are? That really upset me.
I wonder if they have more knowledge about the outside than most
Then they
folks.
let on.
Yeah. Like, I don't know, because they have more knowledge. Like, they seem to be more familiar with the outside.
And I think what we might be dealing with is kind of like a Fallout 3 situation where the vault has been opened. What'd you say?
Like a reverse Fallout 3, like, instead of them leaving, they came in. Or something like...
I think, okay, since we're just going to talk about this now, my theory for what the vault is that everything that happened in Vault 32 is what happened. It was done by the residents of 33, and they just don't talk about it. Because in episode 4, Lucy talks about the Great Famine of 77, and 77, let me do quick math real quick. This is 2296 minus 2277. This is 19 years away, so let's say that Lucy presumably is born in 76, 75, like she's 20-ish, I'm assuming, right?
Right.
She says that her mother died in the Great Famine of 77. The kid from Hannah Montana, Normand, says when he goes there with Chet, who I love Chet, the cousin who's in love with Lucy, I Chet.
I like him so much.
I love how the vault is high camp. It's very much just like, everything's melodramatic because this is all we know. He says, whatever happened here happened a long time ago. I have a feeling everybody originated in Vault 31, and then they moved over to 32 and forgot their past, and then in 32, Lucy doesn't even realize she was born in 32. That's my running canon, my running head canon, I should say. Lucy was born in 32, and as a child, before she even remembers it, they moved over to 33.
Interesting.
And everyone just acts like they're in 33 their entire lives. Because notice a lot of people in the vault are older that are left behind.
Yeah.
That's my running theory, is that 31 was the original vault and the other ones were left empty.
What if it's a loop? What if it's like a loop?
Like it just continuously goes.
Like they go to 33, Lucy and them, whatever. Then, hold on.
Back to 31?
Back to 31. 32, 33, 31.
Maybe, like maybe just the experiment got messed up along the way, or they just kept reiterating, and that's why the walls look like that.
Yeah.
But he says whatever happened here happened a while ago because the Raiders had been down there for a while. I don't think those Raiders are the original Vault Dwellers, but also jumping to fucking episode 4,
we are jumping.
Vault 32's door was opened by Lucy's
mother
2 years ago by Lucy's mom.
Last bio was 2 years ago.
The last bio-optic scan from a Pip-Boy in 32 was 2 years ago, so 2294. And now, mind you, I don't think a Pip-Boy straps onto your arm and it knows everything about you. You probably have to punch in some stuff, right?
Right.
But still, something has happened. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling that we're just not being told the truth. It's Vault Tech. We're not being told the truth, you know? We have been talking about the vaults for a long time. I feel like we should talk about Maximus. Is there anything else you want to say about...
No, I think we'll probably hit on the vaults a little bit further when we get back to them, but the Brotherhood stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, what are you thinking? I mean, it was enjoyable seeing a guy jerking it in his bed in the scene.
Dude, that's my favorite part. When he's fucking jorking his peanuts. I went over to my buddy from work who I was telling you about, to watch the the first episode with him again, because he hadn't finished the first part. Kyle, I work a 10-hour shift, right? Mm-hmm. I must have talked about the show with this guy for 4 hours. So I went to his house to go play D&D, and we watched like the next 15 minutes before the rest of the group showed up. I got there later than I wanted, whatever. And it just shows that dude playing with himself. I was like, look at him. He's beaten. He was like, and he looks at me with like all earnest, and he goes, bro, you got to set up a Jack Shack. And I was like, dude, I've never heard of a Jack Shack. That's really funny. I was super hesitant to see the Brotherhood because I felt they were going to play them as Lions Brotherhood.
Right.
not because that's what the West Coast was doing, but at the end of New Vegas, if you do the Brotherhood quest, the Brotherhood pretty much is either we need to expand or we're going to die. Like, that's what they come to. Lions understood that. That's why when they did the Scourge in the Pit, they understood, okay, we have to take some people in. A lot of Brotherhood were against it to the point where they thought the Brotherhood was changing entirely, and now we have the Brotherhood outcasts. But because of the leadership of Maxon in Fallout 4, over a 10-year jump, somebody's texting me, why? A 10-year jump, it is said that Maxon is such a charismatic leader that he reunites the outcasts with the rest of the Brotherhood. So we're back to kind of an old school mindset of the Brotherhood. And mind you, that Maxon is the highest of high elders.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he is the leader of all of the Brotherhood. We have yet to see him in these 4 episodes, but, I mean, I assume he's there.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's back, unless...
What do you think the ending of Fallout 4 is at this point? Because I think it's Railroad. Because with the Institute takes over Liberty Prime, and then they destroy the Pridwin. And if you go Brotherhood, they destroy the Institute, but I don't think they destroyed... I doubt they destroyed the Institute. But who knows? Maybe they did, but I don't think they did. Do you think they did?
I think they did.
I don't know. You know, there's also, Kyle, we're going to see 3 seasons of this show before another Fallout is even announced. You know what I mean? So they have 3, and it's probably going to take another 2 years for another season to come out. Like, we won't see another season probably till 26.
Probably.
I doubt we'll see it in 25. So, okay, so the Pridwin shows up.
Yeah, Maximus is not good at his job. He has no idea what technology is and stuff like that. It looks like he could take a beating, too. Like, this man got punched in the face, and he's like, yep, I'm pretty good.
Yeah, he's kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
And I think that's, like...
Go ahead.
No, go.
No, I was going to say, yeah, like, I can see that. But the Pridwin's back.
So the Pridwin is there, and they never call it the Pridwin, but when they say that it comes from the Commonwealth. Were you surprised? Because I had heard rumor that it was the airship that came from Chicago.
No, because I felt like they were probably going to do something more with the Pridwin than that ship.
Yeah.
But were you shocked that they're like, yeah, we have to look for an Enclave person
a little bit. Can I be completely honest? When that happened, I was a little upset when it happened, because for episode 300 of Atomic Radio Hour, the post-nuclear podcast, the show that dives into the wreckage of this post-apocalyptia, the other Fallout podcast I have. Kyle, you familiar with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
You've been there since pretty much day one. I think you're on like episode 3.
Yeah.
When they announced the Enclave, I went, oh, fuck. Because I just did the lore on the Enclave. So I was like, I have to upload that immediately. I wasn't surprised. Can I flash forward to episode 2 quick, since we're talking about it here? I'm almost sure they are in Michigan, very North Michigan. Because the last remnant of Enclave, it's... Thomas Eckhart becomes president after the bombs drop, and then that version of the Enclave, or the presidency, is wiped out by I believe it was 20... I just did the lore on this, so I should know. Before the 2090s, like 2086 to 2089, somewhere around there. So right before the 2090s, and by 2102 is when 76 happens, right?
Yeah.
In 2242... that's when the oil rig was at its prime. That's the oil rig that the president, when they say he goes missing. That's March of 2077. The oil rig is Base Station Enclave. That is the capital of the Enclave, the capital of the U.S., outside of D.C. being the physical capital, the Enclave oil base is. Navarro, after the fall of the oil base, Navarro is the second biggest landmass, and then after the fall of the Enclave, within 10 years of Navarro being the capital, NCR overruns it and takes it over, and then the Enclave either integrate into NCR or it's they're killed. A large portion of the Enclave leaves the West Coast from the oil field, the oil rig, and then goes to DC. Augustus Autumn's father is in charge of taking everyone from the West Coast to DC, and they set up shop at Raven Rock. After the events of Fallout 3, the Enclave are destroyed at Raven Rock, and the last known location of any sort of Enclave is in Michigan, which would make sense if you're going with the industrious way of the world. Like Michigan, Chicago, like that area, right?
Yeah.
Because Chicago, Detroit were huge cities in the upcoming of America, very industrious cities. The same way Pennsylvania had Bethlehem Steel, which I'm surprised has not been like a larger thing. In like Pittsburgh had, you know what I'm saying? Like the Pit, it's all these industrious places. It would make sense that wealthy, autocracy-esque, aristocratic people would be there. They show snow. They don't say when this takes place, but they show snow with the Enclave guy.
Also,
so what I'm assuming is that it's Michigan.
I didn't realize until like thinking about it now. The Brotherhood say he has escaped. So is that a Brotherhood area with them in it, scientists, or they had somebody there to know him? Because why would they chase after this guy if he escaped from the Enclave?
Didn't even think of that. Maybe, because I have a feeling that it might have been because it looked really like North Korea, that base that they were at. Yeah. Maybe that's like reclaimed Brotherhood, whatever.
What if it's like Enclave, like it's a prison, almost but
they get to like work.
Yeah, because for a couple moments, like the guy when he would talk to the dog, I thought he was German.
Oh well, I mean his name is Wildzig.
Well, like he had, it almost sounded like he had an accent, like a German accent when he would like talk to the dog sometimes. Really? That's why I was like, I thought like, okay, like is this like a prison of some sort, or like is it like it's definitely. Do you think
it's outside of the U.S.?
I don't think so.
If it's outside of the U.S., it's Canada, but Michigan is right there. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's like.
Thinking about it now is like I'm either it's an Enclave thing, or it's Brotherhood owned.
Okay. Maybe, just maybe, the Enclave as a whole put out the hit. Like that they're like, we have an escapee. You know what I mean? Like maybe the Enclave was like, because the events of Fallout 3, the Enclave didn't want to stay hidden anymore. They wanted to very much be out in the open. They wanted people to know about the Enclave because they wanted people to join the Enclave. Maybe the Enclave is like a known entity at this point on a grander scale, just not like outside of Navarro, outside of the West, outside of DC. It's maybe not like everybody knows about it, but everybody has an understanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe they put out a hit. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like we're 4 episodes in. A ton of shit could happen.
Yeah. I didn't think about that until now. Like they say, oh, like he escaped. Message from the Commonwealth, an Enclave member has escaped.
Because there's no Enclave. The only Enclave member in Fallout 4 is in Far Harbor. There's a guy who gets left behind after the fall of Raven Rock, and he goes to Far Harbor and becomes a Atom Zealot.
And also, it's coming, like, they must have heard something up in Boston. If they had to drive the Pridwin all the way back over here to deliver that message. How fast do you think
the Pridwin drives?
I don't know.
How fast, like genuinely, like I'm not trying to be a shithead, like as a fan of this property, how fast do you feel like the Pridwin could fly?
I have no idea. Because I know it came in pretty quick, and when we see it in 4, like we see it moving across the sky, like it came in pretty quick.
I mean, and then it doesn't really move.
Yeah, and plus if this guy had to travel from Michigan all the way to California.
So, all right. I Googled it. I looked up how fast can a Zeppelin fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
From Google, the Hindenburg. Google also changed its algorithm, so it's like really hard to find anything useful now. The Hindenburg, 245 meters, 804 feet long, was powered by 1,100 horsepower diesel engines, giving it a maximum speed of 84 miles per hour. In 1936, this airship carried a total of 1,002 passengers on 10 scheduled round trips between Germany and the United States. So, okay, let's do this. Boston to Santa, O-N-I-C-A. Boston to Santa Monica, right? Kyle, you want to guess how many miles that is?
Oh, God, I don't even know. How many miles is it?
3,005 miles. I knew it was going to be higher than 2 because I think from PA to Colorado for me is like 15 to 18, somewhere in that. So 3,000, let's just say 3,000, a flat 3, right?
Right.
And it's 84 miles an hour. So let's say 85 miles an hour. So 85 times 24 is 2,040. So it would take, if you drove nonstop, and we don't know what it's powered by. I assume it's powered by a fusion core or multiple fusion cores.
Like that.
If you were to fly with Hindenburg statistics, it would take you about less than like 36 hours to fly from Boston to Santa Monica, which is fantastic time for the wasteland. I mean, a flight from Boston to Santa Monica is 6 hours. But, okay, sorry. This is the shit about the Fallout universe that I love, that there's real-life application. That I can apply real-world thinking and math, and not just like, oh, when Shepard killed the Targaryens, and then Garrus was there, and Talizora, and they're from the Glipglorp region of Sector 9, Sub-Nebula B. Like, none of those things are real to me, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fantastic stories, but I live in this country. Sorry. Maximus. Do you think he put the razor in Dane's boot?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah.
He runs over right away, and I think he was trying to feel out the Elder when he was like, is it bad that I wanted it? And the Elder's like, yeah, dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's also... I think the weakest episode is episode 3 for me so far.
Mm.
And to reference a bit of episode 2 and episode 3, when he steals the power armor, Tim Kaine, I watched the thing with him that he was at the premiere, which is nuts that Tim Kaine was at the premiere. That's so cool. That he was like, yeah, who hasn't played Fallout and watched somebody die or killed them and then just taken their armor and ran away with it?
Oh, yeah.
And completely forget. Like, that I get, but also, you were just told violence against another brother is evil, and then you kill Michael Rappaport.
Well, he didn't really kill him.
I mean, he didn't kill him, but, like, Kyle, if you're on fire and I have a glass of water and I'm just sitting there sipping it going, we should fix this, I killed him. No?
I mean, I don't think he killed him. He just let him die.
Okay.
He didn't do anything to inflict harm on him.
That's
what I mean?
very much a Ghoulman way to look at it. I appreciate that.
But yeah, so
how did you feel about the... No, please go.
I was just going to say, like, he becomes a scribe, right? No, is it scribe?
Squire,
which is really cool to see, like,
more tech-based.
The whole, like...
The ceremony's so cool.
Actual, like, knight and squire stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool.
How do you feel about the no power armor training? Because they kind of don't have power armor training, but they kind of do.
I mean... I feel like they really wanted to retcon the whole power armor is just a piece of armor you put on you need the training for.
Mm-hmm. But he doesn't know how to use it.
He doesn't know how to use it, which I love. I love that.
Mm-hmm. See, that made sense to me that it wasn't like... Because in Fallout 3 is weird, because if you do Anchorage DLC before you get to the Brotherhood, you can just wear power armor. So they got rid of power armor training.
Yeah.
But I don't think Fallout 1 has power armor training.
I don't know. Unless they had it like in like... Unless they had it that it's like... I don't know. I feel like they probably really retconned the whole like power armor. You need the chassis and all that.
Fallout 1 and 2, you don't have power armor training because you don't stumble upon dead soldiers. In 3, you do when it's implemented. The only time you really find power armor is either at the bunkers in New Vegas or through the Remnants. And the Remnants will give you power armor training, but I think the Brotherhood will as well. I don't hate it. Like, I don't hate that it's not necessary, but I like that he got in it and didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
But you don't like that the power armor is like a mini tank?
I think that they later on in the episode, right? Was it later on or episode 2? They heavily showed you that yes, this is a tank, but you are gonna run away from shit because you're scared. And like I saw somebody tweet like, "That's us in playing the game. Like you can be super badass. The freaking death claws coming, a pack of ghouls, you're getting out of there because you're in a tank, but like it's." This depends.
Does it
on the
bother
person
you that
driving
nobody's walking around with a gun?
Like, and any of the cast, except
Lucy
for
doesn't have a gun. Maximus doesn't have a gun. The ghoul has a gun. I'm just like, why does she's like at that river in episode 3 when the Gulper shows up, and I'm like, you need a gun. I'm like, you need a pistol. Like it was kind of bothering me. I was like getting a little anxious.
Yeah.
So okay, let's finish episode 1 because we keep bopping back and forth.
Yeah. So Brotherhood stuff, we go back to the vault.
Yes.
Lucy leaves the vault. And the vault is by an amusement pier park. I couldn't read the name of the sign.
Santa Monica Pier.
Santa Monica Pier, okay.
It's the pier in GTA 5.
Okay.
It's Santa Monica Pier. Yeah, it's right there. Isn't that so cool? But Kyle, where's 32 and 31's door?
Exactly, because they couldn't be that far off.
Well, you saw how deep the vault goes.
That is true.
So, you know what I mean? Like, and also, I could be wrong when I say this, but I think that the 34 door is based off of early Fallout 3 concept art of vaults.
Huh.
Because it's like its own thing, like not built into the mountains.
Yeah. Huh.
But yeah, where are those doors?
Yeah. I don't know. And then we have the coolest, badass entry. We have a guard standing by, getting killed by a junker. And then we have the coolest entry of a character ever.
Really? You thought it was like...
Okay. Walton Goggins' ghoul being buried alive for use whenever they need him, and you just see the IV bags into the grave.
Who do you think he works for?
They said his name. I can't remember.
Who do you think that is?
I don't know. I think
Dom
it's
something with a P.
I think it maybe just like a raider group or like somebody, a bounty group maybe.
Yo, imagine it's a con. Imagine it's the cons.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. The vipers, the jackals.
Yeah. But
the tunnel snakes.
Tunnel snakes.
It's just Butch.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I remember they mentioned his name.
It's Dom something.
Yeah.
Dom something with a P. But okay, that's another thing that bothered me. Because ghouls need to eat. Ghouls need to drink. They had him hooked up to what looked like, honestly, Kyle, I'll be on. Do you remember one of the first times we ever played Fallout D&D, and I playing Ron Goulman took a rat away and poured it out and filled it with nuclear goop and put it on my back, and I constantly regained health?
I wasn't there for that.
No?
No.
Okay, so that's one of the things that I did super early on because the rules, and this is no shade, the rules were just not thought out all the way because we just wanted to play it and we just wanted to get in and have fun having a soap opera in this universe. And we were in some base and I went, cool, who has a rat away that they don't need? Or we might have found them. And I dumped out all the contents and I filled it up with nuclear waste and put it on my back because as a ghoul, it's just going to make me stronger. Like I was immune to it. That's kind of what it looked like was hooked up to Walton Goggins' ghoul character, was 2 Radaway bags that were just radioactive. And maybe that plays into the stuff that we see in episode 4. But, like...
It's keeping them from... Like, well, he inhales it.
Yeah, but he also drinks it in episode 4.
He also drinks it.
But my thing is,
and it stopped them from being ghoulified. Or stopped them from being feral.
Ghouls need to eat. Like, if you retcon ghouls not needing to eat or drink, then the entire point of Necropolis in Fallout 1 doesn't matter. Because those ghouls are like, we have a water chip, we need this to live.
When did he eat? Because I remember him drinking. But then
in episode 4, he eats ass jerky.
Oh, he does.
So I don't understand. You know what I mean? I don't get it.
Unless, okay, hear me out. Unless he's not eating, like, just because he's eating. What if he's eating, like, a gland to get, like, that, something from it?
Like that liquid shit is something?
Yeah, or something, because he cuts them open.
Like, it's like a protein shake. Like, it's like a liquid diet.
Yeah, something, or it's like something maybe ghouls have in them, or like he knows that this guy was like using that stuff that like maybe it's still in his body that he eats, because he wasn't like fully chopping down on them.
Oh,
but like,
I see what you're saying. I don't know.
But
the only thing I could think of is because they're ghouls are technically post necrotic humans. They're humans that have died and gone past death, even though they're still, human-ish.
And whatever this stuff is keeping them from being feral.
Ferals, which that is one of my favorite scenes. But he also inhales it like it's jet.
Yeah.
We have so many ideas and theories, and we've only seen the first 4 episodes. This is a very good show. This is such a good show.
Then they also mentioned about like, they brought a chicken because the ferals will go after the chicken,
and they won't go.
Which I think that's like an urban myth. Yeah, I think that might have been like an urban myth thing that they like. Oh, they're going to go after the chicken.
I didn't think of it. Yeah, probably.
But like, when his hand appears on the coffin, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's the same noise that like when you start up Fallout goes dun, dun, or like it's definitely one of the sound noises, like the music when he grabs the coffin hand, like it plays that like intro like part like before Fallout even begins, like the music. It has that I believe, because that really reminded me of.
I'm gonna go finish the series, and then I think I'm just gonna binge it all again, because I'll be able to just see things from a different angle. I have a feeling I'm gonna watch a series a couple dozen times. All right, and then, so that's episode 1. Oh yeah, please go on.
We ended with crawl out to the Fallout, and then like, how do you like the end scene, the end credits?
I like it a lot.
Zooming out of like an area.
Yeah, I saw a spoiler for them zooming out of an area that was pretty freaking cool.
Yep.
Did you know which one I'm talking about?
Yep. And I had big discussions about that.
Yep. That's actually, without saying what that is, I was at work going, has my entire experience with that time in Fallout been invalidated? And I saw another spoiler that alludes to something that like retcons things, but I think it might have been misinterpreted, and I was at work like complaining with my buddy about it, and he looks at me and goes, dude, we haven't even seen anything past the first 2 episodes. He's like, we can't be upset about something that we haven't seen yet. And I was like, you know what, dog, valid point. And I've been trying to like cool out on it, but yeah, there's been a huge discussion around that. But I like the first one, how it's pre-war and it's a guy sitting on the bench at Santa Monica Pier, and then it pulls back out after the flash. I think it's cool because I didn't know what they were going to do. I didn't know what they were going to do for an intro. I like that there's not really an intro; it just says Fallout, and then something happens.
Yep.
How do you feel about episode 2?
Episode 2? Hold on, I gotta read my notes. I liked episode 2.
Yeah.
I liked them. So far, all 4 episodes I've been enjoying.
Did you have an episode that was weaker for you than the others? Because mine was 3. They're all great. Don't get me wrong.
I think 3 a little bit.
3 just. Here's the thing. 1 is such a high. 2 is such a high. 3 just feels like 2. Like it didn't increase. So it went from like a 9 to a 9 to a 9 again, or like a 9 to a 9.2, and then to like a 9.2 again. So I was like, oh, we're not going to go to a 9.4. And then I think episode 4 is like almost a 10. But we'll save that for when we get to episode 4.
So
episode 2 starts with we talked about it already, the Enclave scientist and CX404, which I think is I like that he calls the dog 4.
They're the breeding dogs.
Yes.
For use
in the incinerator.
Yeah. Yeah, they're breeding dogs. I guess for combat. He's walking by with a dog because he saves the one, and we see a super mutant arm.
How cool was that? I wasn't sure we were ever going to see them. Also, Kyle, did you notice what color it was?
It was like a gray.
It was a grayish green. Yeah. Because DC mutants are yellow. Every other mutant is green.
Yeah.
So, where are they?
Yeah, exactly. Where are they? And then that
imagine we find out that's Jacobstown.
Ooh.
Imagine we find out that's like a reclaimed Jacobstown, and that is the last of the mutants they're getting rid of.
Oh,
sorry, go on.
Could be. We kind of we're now switching back and forth, so we get that whole thing where. What do you think he has in his neck?
I don't know. I don't even have a theory of what he could have because I don't know.
Because it's like some chip vial thing he inserts into his neck.
Maybe it's like Gek related.
It could be, yeah.
Maybe it's Gek related. Maybe something.
Because he powers
I hope
it.
Does he?
Yeah, he puts in a little thing and like powers it.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
But he gets caught. The dog kills the other scientist and he escapes. And as soon as he gets out, he takes off all his like badges and stuff like that. And then the turret comes up and like every other Fallout turret, it's really bad at shooting you. And it completely misses him and the dog.
And that's where you see the snow. And that's why I think it's in Michigan, Canada, that area.
Then we get back to Lucy, who's just going across like the beaches and like the waste. And my fiance was asking about like, oh, why don't you just like why don't you just go in the water or swim or something like that? I'm like, because it's probably heavily radiated. And I was talking to her about like most of the water is radiated. But she sees all
irradiated.
She sees an Assaultron body, and I was like, "Oh, you better run away! You better run away!"
I just like that it was a real world prop. I didn't even think run away.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that exists in I can go see that in real life.
You don't want to be fighting one of those.
No, I don't want to be. But I don't want to be near one.
This is what it was. It was her walking. That the music was so Fallout, like Fallout ambient. Like that was like, oh yeah, that's it. That is Fallout. Like
I'm a little upset. Sorry?
No, it just had that Fallout 1, Fallout 3, like it just had that ambient.
So I play a lot of Fallout with the ambient music off. Not that I don't like it. It immerses me more when it's not there. Because it feels real. Like when I just have the radio on and not the ambient music, if I turn the radio off, the world feels more lonely. So that's just a me thing, right?
Yeah.
Fallout 3 is a very different game from the first Fallout, and I love the soundtrack of the first Fallout. But I'm surprised we haven't heard any of the songs from the first Fallout yet. Like when she's walking through the desert, I thought I was going to hear do 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 do. Like when you get to Shady Sands, like that music that plays,
right?
Like Vats of Goo. I expected to hear. I mean, I'm not upset about it. I'm just surprised we haven't heard it. Like I feel like it would fill out the world, and also the first 2 Fallout soundtrack is amazing.
They're so good.
It's so like it's not even because I'm a Fallout fan. It's just good world music.
They're so good. How do you like learning more about how Power Armor is and how they attach themselves to literally the front of the Power Armor?
Like they attach their scribes to the front?
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's just like, I'm like, oh, that's what those handles are for.
It's okay. It's not, I'm indifferent on it. I'm not here, I'm not there. You know what I mean? It's cool. It's also very much like it's T60 only. Like only T60 at this point. Like no one has 45 or 51. it's all T60.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I'd like to see maybe an older Paladin in like 51. And they're like, why are you using that old model? It's like, because it works. Like, you know what I mean? Like, little stuff like that I'd like to see. Because there's more power armor that exists than just T60.
Did it get you when they're like, yeah, we're heading to Philly?
What do you mean, get me?
Like you because I was like, wait, they're heading to Philly, like Philadelphia?
No, I knew it was Philly, Philly, because of the South by Southwest stuff that I was keeping an eye on, and that was a real life representation of Philly. So I knew. I think it's dumb to call it Philly because there's already a Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And if we ever get to see more of Pennsylvania, they're gonna call that Philly. No.
I don't know. They might call it something else.
What are they gonna call it? Delphia?
Maybe.
Watch. The next one's gonna take place in PA, and I'm gonna be recording episode fucking 691 of Atomic Radio Hour, and it's gonna be a clip of this. It's gonna be this clip. It's gonna be hella meta of being like, yeah, so it takes place in Delphia.
Then we get to like a cave and stuff like that, and the knight is like, yeah, you go in there, squire. And then we get our Yaogwai.
And he uppercuts. Kyle, did you watch the ARH of me watching the trailer live?
Yeah.
Did you hear me squeal like a child when he uppercutted the Yaogwai?
Yep.
It's so good.
But like
this has been a very good year for monster punching.
Completely destroys the gun. His gun.
Whose gun? Titus's gun?
Yeah. That's why he's punching him. It literally like chomps down on it and breaks it.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know how I forgot about that.
That's why he's punching him. He's like, do something. And then he's like, F this shit. And he starts running out of the cave. And then I was like, I'm like, that's combat. That's basically playing in Fallout. Like, you're like, my gun's broke. Shit.
What am I to do?
And then it just takes 2 pistol shots, and the Yaogwai said.
That was another one of those where I was like, no. I was like, no.
That's one mini nuke and like a whole thing of grenades.
I forgot how hard combat is in Fallout 3, and I also might have just not spec'd my character properly, but combat in Fallout 3 is way harder than I remember with ballistic weapons. And way easier with like energy weapons, and I've completely switched over. My character's already maxed out, but I completely switched over to just energy weapons because I was doing so much more damage with laser rifles than I was doing with like combat shotguns.
And
I watched him shoot the Yaogwai in the head, and I was like, okay, first off, Yaogwai in Fallout 4 are like way harder than they need to be to fight, so no. And this is a modern adaptation of a Yaogwai. And 2, it's a TV show, and they're not going to show him, eating all of the Fantasyland snack cakes in his inventory. I get it. There was someone, I don't know if it was satire, if it was a genuine complaint, who said the show wasn't realistic enough for them to the game because Lucy didn't pick up every piece of garbage she came across.
When she was in the Super Duper Mom, I'm like, grab the rat away, please. Grab the rat away in there. And I was like,
there's a wrench. Get the wrench.
Loot.
Just loot everything.
Yeah.
I saw a fan. I was like, you know how many screws are in that fan? So,
go ahead.
I was going to say, after we see Michael Rappaport and we see Maximus, and then we go back to the town of Philly and we see the ghoul interacting with Lucy and Ma June.
I have one gripe.
Yes.
The Brahmin don't look like skin bags. They have hair.
That's your gripe?
Yeah. Because it's like,
really,
when you see a Brahmin, it looks like a big testicle.
It's wrinkly and gross.
Yeah. This was like,
looks like a nutsack. We could say it, Kyle. We're adults. It looks like a nutsack.
But like this one was like, it looks like just 2-headed furry cow.
I have to say though, it looked good. Like for the CGI, it looked like a real cow.
Yeah. It's just like, it wasn't my nutsack cow. That was my only gripe.
That's very funny.
But
has that been your only gripe the whole time?
That's my only gripe the whole time.
Really?
That it didn't look like a nutsack cow.
So, all right, let me write this down real quick. Kyle wants more nutsack. Okay.
So when she goes into the store, right? Mm-hmm. The first Pip-Boy they show.
Okay. All right. Okay, hold on. Can I show you mine? I know you can't see me, Kyle, but let me show it off a bit. First off, I have this model kit, and it came with a little holotape. And I don't think I've ever shown this off. It came with a little holotape, and on it, it's an episode. Hold on, let me turn the camera on for you, Kyle. This is my holotape that it came with the model kit, and it says Atomic Radio Hour on it, and it's one of my favorite episodes, episode 38, from all the way back in the day. It came with a flathead and a Phillips screwdriver that are Vault-Tec branded, right? Mm-hmm. How neat, how fun is that? The Appalachian Fallout 76 Pip-Boy is my favorite Pip-Boy for multiple reasons. Now, I leave my props really dusty because I feel like it fits and because I'm kind of lazy. This Pip-Boy is like the first thing they show you in Majun Sundries.
Yep.
This is like by far my favorite Pip-Boy because it's the first Pip-Boy, but mobile for your arm. I love the design of it. I love how retro it feels. This is like 76. This is by far my favorite Pip-Boy. It's perfect. The way the grill is on it. Sorry, I just wanted to show that off. Please continue. Sorry, sir.
I couldn't see the other ones. I think somebody said there's one from 3 in the back. There's 3 in the background.
Yeah. I think every Pip-Boy we've seen like is canonically there.
Yeah.
Don't look at my legs. I'm wearing shorts. Kyle, don't look at my legs. I'm wearing shorts.
Looking.
Don't look at my legs. I'm wearing shorts.
I'm looking.
But go on, please.
Yeah. So she goes into this nice little lady's her store and is trying to get help trying to find her dad. And this nice little lady is to explain to her how like she's an endangered species and how like basically her kind is like she goes F the Vault, screw them, screw Vault-Tec.
That's why I think that there's something even more devious about it because she knows about them. She's like, I thought you guys were an endangered species in this area.
Yeah.
Because there has to be something else. I'm thinking it's a reverse, like you said, a reverse Fallout 3. But go on, please.
But some other little notable mentions: stingwing meats.
I didn't even see that.
Stick. Yeah, there's a little sign for it. Iguana on a stick.
See the Gideon Buttercup?
Yeah, the Gideon Buttercup.
Made me so happy.
But then we get our little scientist guy. He comes and finds Lucy again, and then we get our little combat section with our ghoul. How'd you like when he shoots the guy in the head and the eyeballs fly away?
I liked it.
Because I was like, yep, that's a headshot. That's a Fallout headshot right there.
I liked it. I thought it was a little much. Not because it was violent. I just felt like it went on a little long.
What was he using?
A legendary weapon.
Okay.
Like he's using like that's what I'm saying about like him being...
Because his bullets had like boom
they
or something.
They explode on impact, and that's like, you can get that in. He also didn't reload enough.
He also got shot twice.
Really?
Yeah, when he's walking with the tomatoes and he gets shot in the back twice and then lays there with the other guy who got shot in the neck. He's like, I'll offer you some tomatoes, but you got a hole in your neck. I
didn't realize he got shot there. I thought he was just like kind of...
No, it looked like he got hit twice in the back.
Huh.
But our ghoul's super resilient because he got thrown around a lot by Maximus.
It felt like Fallout 4, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I've actually really, honestly come around a lot on Fallout 4.
I just bought it again.
Did you really?
I bought it with all the DLCs on Xbox.
When did you come with us to the midnight release?
No.
When we went to the midnight release, I spent a grip, but I bought my brother a copy because he had a 1 at the time. Mm-hmm. And I just, when I went home for Christmas, I took his copy. So I have a copy of Fallout 4. And now that they're updating updating it with the 4K and the 60 frames and what have you, I think I might go back and...
Yeah.
Is all the DLC on sale?
Yeah, it's $10
as of this recording.
Xbox.
$10 for all of it?
Fallout 4 and all the DLCs. It's $10.
Really? Oh, I might just buy that then, even though I have a physical disc. I just, I could pop the disc in, whatever, but if it comes with all the DLC, I might as well,
Yeah.
But I really want to get another copy of. I might do that and all the DLC for New Vegas because I have a 360 copy here.
I need to get my copy back.
I really want to do another playthrough of New Vegas and like really take my time with it. Mm-hmm. Because when I get footage for the podcast, I'm very much just like trying to jump from spot to spot, and I feel like I'm losing some of the magic of it on myself. But go on, please.
My favorite part is when she's in the shop, and she's like, "Oh, I got to help this guy because his foot got blown off," and she looks at the bobblehead, and I'm like, she just got strength from the bobblehead. Because you hear the music too. She's like, "Yeah, I got to go fight this ghoul." She looks at the bobblehead,
I didn't even pick up on that.
She got strength from the bobblehead. The bobblehead gave her strength.
That is... okay. I love this show, man.
There's a mini nuke in one of the things in her shelf things. I noticed that.
I appreciated that. It looked like the one you gave me.
Yeah. Okay. Are they going to have a relationship? Maximus and Lucy.
Okay, I'm happy you brought this up. Another small gripe of mine. I went into this not even realizing, Kyle, what's my favorite kind of protagonist?
Quiet one.
Yes, what's my second favorite kind of protagonist? What's my favorite kind of protagonist if they have a voice?
Woman?
Yeah, I love a female protagonist. I think it's because so many games I just get to play as men, and I'm a guy, so I just it's okay. This is my self-insert. I love getting to play as a female protag, and then I realized like the first episode, I go, oh my god, she's the female protagonist. Like Fallout has a canonical female protagonist now. That's awesome. Yeah. That's fucking great. And then she's like she's a sopping mess when Maximus shows up. And I'm like, can I just have a character who's... I don't want it to just be now her entire intention is to just fuck Maximus. Like, I don't want that. I want her to be a character that is her own thing, that is her own person, that has her own goals. I don't want it to just be now she's going to hook up with Maximus.
Right.
I've seen people referring to them as Maxi and Lucimus. As a thing, and that's just internet fandom as it is. It just, people will ship characters with other characters. There's somebody who's shipping Wildzig with Hank right now, as we speak. But, like, I don't know.
I don't know.
That's what I liked about, like, The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Ellie's just there. The only person trying to fuck Ellie is Ellie's girlfriend, but go on, sorry.
Then he gets a new foot, and, like, oh, man.
How cool was that?
That was so cool.
I have a feeling the next game might have an option for something like that.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
because you see in episode 4, they could reattach limbs.
Yeah. Yeah. But they escape Lucy and the doctor. Maximus is fighting our ghoul. And then the ghoul's like, because Maximus is still getting used to, the jetpack and shit, but like, he was able to get behind him, destroy like the jetpack or like his sensors or something like that, and like get out of it. Oh, he kills the dog. He kills the dog.
Kind of.
He kills the dog, and then he feels bad. I think he feels bad, but I think at the same time he's like, he can find his master.
He can stim him.
I love the interpretation of just stim him and he back to normal.
Yeah. Yeah, Lucy gets stabbed and she like saunters over to the bathroom and she hits herself and she's like, okay.
Yeah, especially with dog. It's like dog's laying there dying and stims him. He's like, dog's up, ready to go.
Yeah. I like how there's a dog in this.
Yeah.
One of my favorite parts. It's so dumb, but I love it.
And then we cut to Lucy and the doctor walking, and they get past a Russian satellite.
Yes.
And we learned that the doctor took cyanide pills from Vault-Tec.
Banana flavored.
Yeah.
He claims they're the most... He claims they're the most humane thing Vault-Tec has ever done. Plan D?
Huh?
Plan D? She found Plan B. It was like Vault-Tec branded Plan B around a little family.
Yeah.
And then he had Plan D, so there's a bunch of other plans out there.
But he wants Lucy to take his head.
Mm-hmm.
And because he can't walk anymore, so he gives her a ripper.
Yeah, like an Enclave Ripper.
She goes, okay. And the credit scene set to, I don't want to set the world on fire.
Yeah. And he calls her by her full name.
Yeah, he
says Lucy McLean.
He knows her.
The Enclave, I wouldn't be surprised if she's Enclave herself, like descendant of Enclave.
Or like her dad was. Or mom.
Yeah. Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised. It's probably her mom. Either that or it's got to be something. Maybe the mom met up with Enclave remnants and like moved around and then came back 2 years ago and, you know.
Could be.
Episode 3, which was the weakest, still like a 9, but the weakest to me.
We got more pre-war stuff, movie set. Walden Goggins' character as a Western character. His Western character not wanting to kill, because he's the sheriff. He wanted to lock him up. And we get more about like his backstory with his wife and his daughter. And she's like, oh, I got this in your favorite colors. And my fiance was like, oh, that's probably a Vault suit. And we don't see it. And then, like, it is a Vault suit. But, like, then we cut back to him.
You see it at the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. I don't think seeing the Vault Boy is super necessary. It's cool.
I have a theory.
Okay.
What if he inspires the Vault Boy?
That's not the theory. I think that's what it is. They told us...
Try a thumbs up.
He's like, yeah, I got this idea. Let me try a thumbs up. Because, and in the first episode, he tells his daughter it's because of... which, again, another thing I really like is this tells you little fragments of a story piecemeal, much like Fallout does. Mm-hmm. Here's a little bit of a story, go get a holotape. Here's a little bit of another story, go talk to somebody. They give you another holotape. Like, you're finding out these stories in chunks, very much the way you do in Fallout 3 or 4 or whatever. New Vegas. But, like... That's the first, I'm assuming the first Vault suit. You know what I mean? Like, that's the first time it's being modeled. He's a big name. He's a famous movie star. Yeah. And when at the party they go, hey, give us a thumbs up. And he's like, I really, and he says when he meets the Vault-Tec representatives, and I looked at their lapels. They had Vault-Tec logos. I thought it was Enclave when I first saw it, and it's not. It's Vault-Tec. I thought, oh, okay, it's... this is the first Vault suit. This is the first whatever. It's him saying, let me try this thumbs up, because when he's at the party, they go, give us a thumbs up. And he's like, nah, I don't really think it's okay given everything going on in the world. And they call him a pinko commie. And then he's talking badly about commies, but he's also telling Vault-Tec that they're doing like the greatest thing ever. And he's like, on behalf of all Americans, thank you.
He's like, oh, this is pretty tight. This is going to help with the radiation. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, and then, he shoots out the Vault Boy. Like, it's one of those where it's, if they said this is the guy who drew the Vault Boy, fine. It's cool. I'm not complaining about it. Like, that's the thing. I just don't think it's necessary. Mm-hmm. Like, I'd rather find out more about the characters. I mean, I don't know. It's fine. You know what I mean? I'm not here or there about it. It's fine.
And like, the whole, like, his wife has connections to Vault-Tec. That's how she was able to get that.
And that probably falls into their divorce. She probably fully believes in it. And she's like, no, this is wrong and this and that. And I do like the idea of a Western TV actor, though, like a big name actor being the face of something.
Yeah.
That I enjoy. Let me see how the rest of the show plays out before I say anything with finality on it. Let's say it like that.
Okay. Makes sense now why he shot the Vault Boy sign.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I got immediately. Like, as soon as they said, give us a thumbs up, that's what you're famous for, I went, okay, so he's behind the Vault Boy. Yeah. Like, in some sense. So when he shot the Vault Boy and she like, Lucy sees it and thinks that he's just being a dick. Mm-hmm. Like, he's just trying to intimidate her. He fucking hates the Vault Boy because what it means to him.
Yeah. Yep.
You recording still?
I'm still recording.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got more of Walden Goggins schools, Traveling with the Dog, Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, yeah, with the Gulper?
And then we get Gulper, which looks so cool.
The fingers in its mouth?
Yeah, the mutated axolotl. Like, it looks cool. Like, the design looked cool.
And then we get to see it take the head away.
And she puts a tracker in its nose so she can track it on the Pip-Boy.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you're right. Which is another thing that was like kind of seemed like the plot needed it. But again, who cares?
But
this is a different kind of Pip-Boy. What's that?
The Pip-Boy takes photos. Because she has a photo and data of her dad.
I don't know if it takes photos because in Fallout, I know in Fallout 3 for sure. No, even in New Vegas. And I believe in 4 as well. In 3, there's photos uploaded. Like when House dies, a photo of House with Liberty Prime is uploaded.
That's right. It's probably it was taken and uploaded to it.
I'm not. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't. I feel like that came off as me being wrong. I didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
I completely forgot that cameras
It'd be cool if it took photos.
Oh yeah, that would be really cool. Screenshots.
It's an iPhone that's like not even hermetically sealed to me. Because she can take it off. In Fallout 3, it's like the only game that the Pip-Boys are hermetically sealed to you.
Yeah.
But go on, please. Sorry.
Then we have Maximus is getting a new squire. And it's actually the one dude that was picking on him.
Yeah.
And Maximus was going to kill him. Oh, before we get to that, Maximus was like taking him, beating him. Oh, I don't know how this man got like back up, but he was just like, his face is probably broken in multiple areas.
His nose, that little, if you ever see the bridge of someone's nose like that with that scar, I think that means it's broken.
But like he just got beaten by these guys who's trying to take power armor, and he just goes into town and kills them. But they're sending him a new squire, and it's the guy who was like picking on him, and Maximus is about to like crush his head. But he's begging, and then you definitely see Maximus feel bad, but kind of getting a little bit of enjoyment out of it. But he has him like track the ghoul with radiation level with this like almost like a speed thermometer or something like that.
Yeah, it was like a Geiger. I really want a Geiger counter for the shelf just because I think it would fit. There's like these old school yellow ones I want. There's Geiger counters that look like that are like guns. Like there's one that looks like the alien blaster that I saw on eBay once.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, right. Like
that's pretty cool.
Buck Rogers shit. Like, but yeah, it's like a Geiger counter that looks like a gun. And he like makes them climb trees to find apples.
But yeah, Lucy's there. She loses the head to the Gulper, and our ghoul tracks up to Lucy, captures her basically. And the one thing I love him saying. I forget like the full line, but he's like, we always get sidetracked by bullshit every time in the Wasteland, which is like, that's a side quest.
It felt a little fourth wall breaky for me. It's fine. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's very much a nod at people who play Fallout of just like, here's the main quest. I got to go find my kid, but first I need 900 screws. You know, I got to see what the Cabots are up to. I got it. Yeah. It just seemed a little fourth wall breaky for me, which is wild because I love fourth wall breaks. But it's fine. Everyone smiled.
Yeah. We get more with the Squire and like them meeting up into the lake. And we kind of cut back to the vault again, and like Hannah Montana kid is like, he knows something's going up. He knows like they don't want to do shit. They're voting about like let's bring these raiders in and reform them and stuff like that.
The one guy's like, I could teach them chemistry.
Yeah. But he's like, we should just kill them. And then they're all like looking at him and stuff like that. And then we get to like probably my favorite sequence, honestly. Oh, well, then the guy comes in. He goes, well, before that, he comes in. He goes, I gotta talk to the overseer, and they both go, what? And then like you can see like the whole like that going on, and he goes, the water chip's destroyed. I laughed at that. I was like, I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah, they're like, we have 2 months worth of water, and I was trying to think how long you have 180 days in Fallout 1, and I was like, all right, it's a neat little nod that it'll probably get fixed like immediately after, but it's just one of those that I was like, okay.
And then the next sequence is probably my favorite. I love them going after the Gulper and the Squire getting eaten, and then he's trying to help this, and then like the music playing too at the time. Like I love that sequence. It was so fun because it made me love the way they kill the guy. Yeah, he throws up everything, and then his insides
he like
as well.
pulls his insides out.
I just love that whole sequence.
That's what I like, how violent the show is.
Yeah.
Like, there's a scene where Walton Goggins in episode 2 shoots the guy in the head, and the bullet goes through the guy into the guy behind him, and then the bullet explodes in the guy's head.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that.
It's so good. It's so good.
I like that it's just, you know, I'm playing Fallout and I walk up to a guy with a pistol and I shoot him once in the leg and his head turns into mist. His head and his like left arm. It's like I didn't even shoot you there.
Yeah, I'm liking the Squire more because of that sequence.
Well, yeah. I saw someone review it, like a quick little review, like character review on Twitter, and they said that that Squire really, really surprised them of like how good of a character he becomes later in the show.
And then
so I can only imagine what the next 4 episodes are like.
Yeah, I love this show.
The show's great, right?
It's so good. And then we talked a little bit about Howard getting the Volt suit and the thumbs up, and that was like the end sequence of that.
Does that bring us to episode 4? Is there nothing else to say?
Episode 4.
Okay. Episode 4, I think, so far is my favorite episode.
It's so good.
It addresses everything I want to see in a Fallout story immediately. You get to see Roger the Ghoul. Mm-hmm. And him screaming, "My name is Roger." And I want to know if Roger knew that that was Cooper Howard, or if he's just known around that area.
I feel like he knows that he's the oldest and just around that area. I don't know if he knows. Because the way it made it sound like Howard is the long live before Roger. You know, because Roger was like, oh, but then he mentioned about food.
Yeah, and he said, remember how good food used to taste? And he goes, yeah, my mom. And, like, I didn't see him shooting him coming. And he shot him, and I went, that's what he deserves.
Yeah.
Like, that was a
Let him
mercy
think about
killing.
something good.
What's that?
Let him think about something good.
And it's the second he looks at Lucy. So he was thinking about his mom. He was thinking about the way she used to cook. And he looked at Lucy, ready to tell someone new about the ways of the old world. And while his mind was elsewhere, he said, "You lived a long life, Roger. Good for you. You didn't succumb to the evils that is a feral."
Yep.
Like that, I was like, and then Lucy's like, "Why did you do that?" And I was like, "Oh, I wish you understood, kid. I really do." Like, that's why I'm saying you see each character play as a good, evil, and neutral character.
Yeah.
Because yes, the act of killing is wrong. It was a mercy kill.
Yeah.
He didn't become a zombie.
Yeah.
And there's something really haunting about going, "My name is Roger. My name is Roger. My name is Roger," as you're slowly tweaking and twitching out. Just tweaking and twitching into oblivion. Fucking beautiful. Just fucking beautiful
so
the way
good.
that's done. And then when she drinks the water in that episode, she even says, she goes, "I might look like you, but I'm never going to be like you."
Yeah.
And that's when I was like, okay, either her or her kid is going to be a ghoul at some point in time.
I also like, because when we talked a little bit about like him opening him up and eating something. I think he's eating like a gland or something like that. But I don't know. Maybe it's like something with ghouls that like certain gland. Like I think like certain creatures like eat certain glands of animals to get like high or something like that. Maybe that's like something with ghouls.
The only thing I could think of is if they're gonna retcon ghouls needing to eat because he's in that thing in the coffin with presumably no food. The way that they could retcon it is that ghouls' metabolisms are just way slower.
Could be.
Like, they just break down food differently.
And he also took a tooth.
Yeah, but there was also that place in Philly that sells teeth.
Yeah, I don't think he's going back there, though, after he killed most of them.
No. But maybe teeth is just a thing that people buy.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, that's either that or maybe like bottle cap mines. You put bottle caps in a lunchbox and it explodes, and that's the shrapnel. Maybe it's teeth.
We'll probably see the tooth show up.
Yeah. You know, Schrodinger's tooth. See a tooth, use a tooth.
Oh, he also said smooth face. Roger said smooth face.
He didn't say smooth skin, and I was like, maybe it's a cultural like a area difference.
It could be, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like smoothies, smooths, smooth skins, baby butts. Yeah, like maybe just where you are. Like in America, we call it cotton candy. In London, it's called fairy floss. And then in like Norway, it's daddy's beard or Odin's beard. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Look at you learning and shit, Kyle. Astute fella. This is a great episode.
This is so great.
The guy who voices Snip Snip, you know who it is?
It's
the Mighty Boosh.
Yeah, and he's also...
I don't know his name. It's Vince's buddy from the Mighty Boosh.
Yeah, and he's also in the What We Do in the Shadows or something like that. He plays one of the vampires, yeah.
He's in Community, too. He's in like one of the last seasons of Community. He's the grifter.
See, I think...
He's a phenomenal... He's very funny, that guy.
Did you watch this season on Fallout in episode 1?
I did. I think they show him for like a second, like the actual actor. Yeah. Well, I think they got the guy who did Cogsworth for In the Vault. I remember seeing another Mr. Handy earlier, and it sounded like Cogsworth at the party. At the party in the first episode, it sounded like Cogsworth. Which that dude does the voice of Nick Valentine too. So he just works with Bethesda.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Kyle, when you're in high school and you don't talk to girls and just read the Fallout wiki, you pick up on voice actors. No, I like him a lot. I was very excited to see him. I want to see who he plays in The Thing because I don't know how it works with TV shows that are like this, but I know with Robot Chicken, because I was a big fan of that as a kid, when they would get a celebrity on, SAG-AFTRA rules for the union is you can do 3 voices, and then after 3 voices, they have to pay you differently because your contract is for at least 3 different roles. So a lot of celebrities will go and do that, and they'll be excited more to play characters that aren't based on them because they get to play with their voice.
Right.
So maybe his contract, they just allowed him to do voice acting in it as well, so he gets to play his character and do voices.
Yeah.
Either way, I was happy to see him. I was happy to hear him, I should say, because I like that guy. I like the Mighty Boosh a lot, quite a bit.
He trades Lucy for vials at a Super Duper Mart.
Yeah.
And we see Snip.
Kyle, that Super Duper Mart?
Yeah.
Is in Staten Island, in New York.
Is that the one where we saw a lot of the photos from?
People were flying drones over?
Yeah.
Yeah. That is not far from where my grandma used to live.
Oh, really?
I've been there a bunch. Like, I don't know the exact location. I have an idea of where it is, but I've been there. Like, Staten Island's not big. I've been there. I know I've driven past it. I've probably stopped at whatever store that was there originally. Like, I've been there. And I just think it's weird how it, like, full circle, I've been to that location.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I got a little excited. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, I get there. Like, but go on. Sorry. The Super Duper Mart is awesome.
Yeah. Super Duper Mart. Howard is making a trade.
Mm-hmm. And he collapses.
For vials. Yeah. And we get Snip. He brings them into the 2 guys who are take them in, and we see the freezers. We just see freezers of ghouls.
Yeah.
And then Lucy's able to get out of it, fight back. Using
This is
good.
This is her Breaking Bad moment too.
This is, yeah.
So I really I just love how you see Lucy go in and she's like, I don't want to be a sex slave and I lost a finger. And then they reattach the finger.
Oh yeah, the finger, and her losing a finger because she.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. She runs off. So can I go back a little bit?
Yeah. Let's go back.
Walton Goggins is drinking water and she's like, please give me a sip. I'm very thirsty. And I love this, pours out the last few drops into the sand. And there's a point where she's like, what are you? Like, why would you do this? What are you? And he's like, I'm you, just give it time. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the death of the innocent in it. I want to see how everything is all okie dokie until it's not.
Yeah.
And you see that, and she drinks the water, and then he's like, you are just, that's when I think he says, he's like, you're just me, give it some time. And then he starts coughing and she runs off. And then he doesn't, as far as I know, his finger's still effed up.
Yeah.
She Ellie's him.
Yeah.
The way Abby bites off Ellie's fingers. Sorry, I just spoiled Last of Us 2.
And then he cuts her.
We're 2 hours in. And then he's like, cool, this is the closest thing to a fair trade we've ever had. Mm-hmm. And like, they were going to harvest her organs, and then he reattaches the fingers, and you just see these wastoids watching cartoons.
Yeah.
Getting high watching cartoons. And nice little touch, Halloween decorations in the back. Just a nice little thing that didn't need to be there that was. That I wouldn't have thought if it wasn't there, and I was like, that's nice. But like, Lucy gets her first kill. She kills a feral.
Yeah. She makes them leave all the ferals, and they're like, you don't want to let those out. And she goes, let them out. And then they all come running and attacking, jumping like ferals do at them, kills them. And then
they take out the guys for her, which is nice.
Pistol.
This is my favorite episode. Episode 4 by far has to be my favorite episode. My buddy at work texts me because I went to work on Friday for a half day for a little overtime, and then I went to the gym, and I came home and I started editing, and while I was at the gym, I got a text that said, this poor girl in episode 4, my God. Also, Kyle, apparently episode 6 is really brutal. That's another thing I got a text this morning saying that episode 6 is, because last night when I finished episode 4 at like 2 a.m, I text my buddy, and I was going to text you, but I wanted to keep our conversation about the show as minimal as possible so we could talk about all of it here.
Yeah.
I text my buddy and I went, I think episode 4 might be peak Fallout fiction. Like, it might just be like exactly what I'm looking for. And you finally hear Lucy curse. She curses in episode 2. She says, gosh damn it, which I thought was really funny because I don't know if you remember this. We used to say that back in the day.
Yeah.
And then she was like, golden rule, motherfucker.
Yeah, and she's like, comes out. She's a new person.
Yeah.
And
covered in blood.
Yep. And she gives Howard the vials, and then we see Howard go into the Super Duper Mart, just trying to. I don't think like alcohol has like he was just drinking, trying to drug.
I think it was just liquid.
Yeah, I think he was just taking everything.
Yeah,
because he could. And
then he's like licking up powder.
What'd you say? Oh yeah,
and I didn't know if that was like coke.
I don't know.
Maybe like crushed up Mentats.
Yeah, it could be.
Because you could snort Mentats.
And then he finds all the vials and starts putting away, and then he sees the TV and his movie. And the movie, we see him filming right before he does the shoot for Vault-Tec. Yeah, and he says the line where it's like, you're ugly, you're something, and I'll make 2 of you. And I think that really hit him, because that's him now.
Yeah. Yeah. Damn, I didn't even get that.
Yep.
Look at you, Kyle. I was taken back by like everything else in that episode. And then like he didn't grab every vial, and I was like, dog, grab every vial.
Every vial.
I'm like, get every vial. 2 months of those vials is gonna last you maybe a week.
You know what?
That
those vials remind me of? Grandma's blend.
Holy shit, Kyle!
Like,
I forgot about that.
It was just reminding me of that because I even used it on Ron when we retconned it. Remember, and it was like it didn't have that much of an effect on ghouls.
I don't. That was a bad night.
That was a bad night. That was my fault.
I think episode 4 is phenomenal.
It's so good.
I think it's very much peak. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but Kyle, now that we've gone over all the episodes, where do you think the show is going?
Like story-wise?
Yeah, where do you think we're going to go? I would ask you, what do you think we're going to see, but I feel like we've already had it spoiled what we're going to see location-wise.
I think that lady is from she's either NCR or some remnant of something, and I think you might be right. I think maybe...
Hey, Kyle?
Yeah.
She's Lucy's mom.
I don't think so.
I think so.
No, because like even her dad didn't recognize her, or like she's like, "Oh, you look just like your mom." Like I don't think.
Oh, you're right, because they talk to each other right away.
Yeah. She's not her mom. She's something.
Maybe it's her sister.
Well, didn't Okay, so somebody mentioned, they mentioned though Howard's that they're going to that witch, whatever her name was. That's what they called her. That the scientist was heading to her. But I think sister could be a thing. I don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised she's related. I wouldn't be surprised she's related, or she just doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
Like, when you see Lucy remembering her mom, it's very much an idealized version of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I don't
know, dude.
know.
Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Like, even what's the thing in his head? Like, what's that going to be?
Like, why does it hurt when they touch it?
And, like, what happened to New Vegas? Like, if we're heading that way, like...
Yeah. I mean, what happened to that time period? Like,
yeah.
I'm trying really hard to not talk about the things I saw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do have a question for you.
Yes. Is this the question you wanted to ask me?
If Matthew Perry was still alive, would he played Benny in the show?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? He loves Fallout.
Yeah. My fiance goes, do you think he would have been in the show if he was still around? I go, yeah. He could have played Benny.
I don't know if I left it in the edit of episode 300 of Atomic Radio, where the post-nuclear podcast show that dives in the wreckage of post-apocalyptia. I'm not sure if I left it in or not, but somebody said, imagine he just shows up, because they were filming it for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. So imagine he's just like in it for a second, and like that's his last appearance in anything.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be really cool. Like, even if he's not Benny, but just even as a Fallout fan.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool. I mean, dude loved Fallout 3. He bought Ellen a 360 and a copy of 3 to play, like, when he was on the show. I think if Matthew Perry was still alive, he would absolutely have been a part of season 2 if he's not already a part of season 1.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if he reached out and was like, let me play a character. Like Kyle, I just said before, I would do awful things to be on the show. I don't even want to get paid. I just want to be in it for the love of the game. You know what I mean? If anything, give me the minimum requirement so I can qualify for SAG-AFTRA and get union dues. Like, that's it. Get health insurance through the union. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me if it's $1,200, give me the $1,200. I'll claim it. I'll pay the taxes on it to the state of California. I worked in California because season 2 got renewed for through Thing because California is giving them a $25 million tax rebate. So like $25 million of them filming that season 2 is free.
Huh.
So if anybody from Kilter Films or Amazon or Bethesda sees this, I would love to be a part of your program. I was pretty much a lifelong Fallout fan at this part. I would love to be a part of your program. And I'll do it for nothing. Fly me out there. That's it. Put me in a hotel. I don't even care about the SAG-AFTRA thing. I just want to be on it. I just want to be like, that's me. Kevin Smith, the writer, director, actor guy, Silent Bob. The reason why he put himself as Silent Bob, he wanted to play one of the main characters originally, and he didn't. And the reason why he put himself in as Silent Bob is because if the movie flopped, he could put it on with his friends in 20, 30, 40 years and go, look at this idiot. Just because it's there.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. That's my Egyptian pyramid.
You kind of have that with podcasts.
What's that?
You kind of have that with the podcast.
Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't sell myself short. I do have that. I mean, this entire YouTube channel, Mm-hmm. Kyle, I don't know if we should rate the first 4, but let's rate the first 4, man.
Yeah.
What would you give these first 4?
Ooh. Are we doing it individually or just as a whole?
Okay, I was going to say do it as a whole. Do each episode individually and then give me the whole.
Okay.
Give me that whole.
For episode 1, I'm going to say 10 out of 10 Jello modes.
Hell yeah.
Episode 2, I'm going to go for... I'm trying to think of what went on in the episodes. I'm going to say...
That was the big Philly
9.5 razor blades and boots.
Nice.
Episode 3, I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with 8 exploding eyeballs.
Okay.
And then episode 4, I'm going to go with 10 out of 10 Gulper fingers.
Nice. And then for overall?
Overall?
Yeah, the 4 episodes. What would you give this 4? Yeah.
I'm going to say a good 9.8.
Nice.
Thumbs up.
Nice. I would give the first episode probably like a 9.4 pre-war birthday parties out of 10. Episode, I just really, really appreciate the first one. Episode 2, probably like 9 point. See, I want to rate episode 2 lower than episode 1, but they did different things for me. You know what I mean? So it's not to say that it's better or worse.
Yeah.
It just, certain things were done better for me in other ways. Episode 2, I want to give a 9.2. 9.2 things injected into my neck. For episode 3, I want to give it like a 9. Maybe like an 8-9, depending on how I'm feeling. I kind of want to watch it again. Maybe my opinion will change. 8.9 dead Michael Rappaports out of 10. And a 9.8, just a little girl who misses home and really wants to find her dad. Out of 10. I really, really, really like episode 4. I hope it's not the only, like, I hope I feel more adulation for the episodes as it goes on. But I think that's it, Kyle. I think that's all 2 hours and 9 minutes of recording. I can only imagine we're going to do this again tomorrow because I want to have both. I want to have one of these out on Monday, one of these out on Tuesday. Hopefully. Thank you guys for watching. Part 2 will be coming out shortly. Maybe tomorrow, most likely tomorrow. Again, my name has been Vince. This has been, I think I've lost Kyle once again. God, Discord really rips. Join the Discord. When it's not doing this with voice chat, join the Discord. It's a fun time. There's a bunch of other follow fans. I want to thank the Patreon. If you like the show, there should be a design for this show on the Redbubble. If not now, at some point in the future, if you like the design, if you like the look, all of that, what have you, go ahead and join. My name again has been Vince. There's also the Patreon. Thank you to the Patreon. My Twitter's linked there. Kyle's Twitter's linked there. The show's Twitter's linked in the description below. My name is Vince. This has been special guest Kyle.
Hello.
Right, Kyle?
Yes. 'Tis me.
Kyle, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye, everybody.
Bye,
Stay
everybody.
tuned for part 2. I'm gonna go, Kyle. I'm gonna go binge the last 4 episodes. I don't think you have any by you, but if you go on a long drive anytime soon and you see a Circle K, dude, stop in. They have Godzilla-themed chocolate bars for the movie, the new movie that's out.
Yeah.
They're the best chocolate bars I've ever had in my life.
Huh.
Like not just because it says Godzilla, they're toffee and almond. And they're ridiculous. I'm gonna go watch an episode just to kind of relax from doing 2 hours of recording. I'm gonna go edit, but when I go sit down and relax, I'm gonna eat one of them chocolate bars. Thank you for being here, everybody. I love you. I'll talk to you guys sometime soon. Check out the podcast and the Patreon and the Discord. I love you. All right, bye.
Bye.
This has been a production made by your friends at Ghoulman Entertainment.